You bought an RV. You got that baby home. All is wonderful. It's sitting in your driveway. Your neighbors are even admiring it.
Oh, wow, man. What an RV.
You just want to get in it and hit the road. Not so fast. There are things you're going to have to buy before you can even use that RV. And not all the dealers are going to tell you that. We're going to talk about those things that you have to have before you can use your RV today. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome to the Roaming Gomes. I'm Felix. When we bought our first RV, we had no idea that we were going to have to make an additional investment in order to actually use it. The items that you need to purchase are the subject of today's video. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll give you a bonus that although it's not essential, you're going to want it because it will make your life a whole lot easier. Let's get to it. Water. When you buy an RV, it does not come with a water hose. You're going to need a potable water hose. In other words, a water hose that's for drinking water. I would suggest at least 50 feet, if not a little more. I've had spots where we hooked up and the water connection was completely at the other end of the spot. The other thing you're going to need is a water filter. We have been in hundreds of RV parks, and there is not one that I would feel comfortable drinking the water straight out of the tap without my water filter. Additionally, you're going to need a water pressure regulator. Now, the first RV park that we stayed in long-term in Tulsa, they had an actual requirement that you had to have a water pressure regulator. Why? Because the water in their taps came out at 75 PSI. I am here to tell you that would have blown out the water lines in my rig.
Water everywhere.
So you can get a fixed water pressure regulator, which is what we used then. And that will keep your water pressure usually at around 40 to 45 PSI. But what I would recommend is this type of water regulator, which is what we use now. And it is adjustable. You would want to adjust it somewhere between 45 and 55 PSI. The other thing you're going to want is a 90-degree elbow to connect into the RV. These water connections are plastic. And if they have the weight of that hose hanging from them, they're going to wear out pretty quickly. If you use this 90-degree elbow, that alleviates a lot of the weight. A little suggestion on that is when you're disconnecting from the water, don't unscrew the elbow. Unscrew from the elbow. Next subject, waste management. No RVs new come with sewer hoses. And if you're buying your RV used, you're probably going to want to replace the sewer hose anyway. Just a side note, everything I'm talking about in today's video is available at our Amazon store in a section labeled RV Essentials for New RVers. So you can pretty much get everything you need right there. The other thing for waste management you're going to need is a second water hose. Now, this does not have to be a potable water hose. This can be just any garden hose. I know a lot of people are going towards the roll-up hoses. They're good, the collapsibles. It really doesn't matter. You can use pretty much any hose. You just need to make sure that you have enough length. You're going to want a Y connection at the water spigot. One for your potable water, the water that you're going to be drinking or using to wash your dishes or whatever. The other for your flush hose. Now, something that I've done is the way my flush is situated, I have a small section of hose that comes out of there. It never gets unscrewed unless we're moving. And I just screw into that and flush my tank. You're going to need a sewage treatment chemical of some sort. What we use is Simply Green, and we have been using this for years, and I find it to be a very effective treatment. Make sure that when you get your sewer hose, it has a clear elbow going into the sewer. Nobody wants to stare at your waste, but it is an invaluable tool to be able to see if your waste is flowing out of the tank or not. Just a little extra in this category, if you're going to be boondocking, or if you're going to be camping in state parks that often don't have a sewer connection, you're going to want to get what's called a honey wagon. Why they call it that is beyond me, but it's called a honey wagon, and what you do is you dump your tank into this, you pull it over to the dump station, if you're in a state park or whatever dump station you can get to, and you empty it there. As far as your power needs, pretty much every RV is going to come with the power cord to connect. You're going to want to get the appropriate extension. As I mentioned earlier with the water, I have been in RV parks where the connections were completely at the other end of the site, and I really couldn't make it with my hose or with my power connection. So have an extension handy, whichever one's appropriate for you, 30 amp or 50 amp. You are definitely going to want to get a power surge protector or an EMS system. I have again been in RV parks where I've connected my EMS, and I always wait till it clicks, telling me that it's good, the connection's good, and it didn't click. And I looked at it and there was a ground fault, or there was no power. This is something you're going to want to have. A lot of the RV parks don't necessarily keep up with their utilities. And continuing on the power surge protector, you're going to want a lock to keep that from walking away. You're taking an item that's somewhere between $250 and $500 and just hanging it outside. You don't want to lose that. And this simple cable lock will alleviate all of that. Of course, somebody wants to come along and clip it with a bolt cutter or whatever, it's going to happen, but at least you're hedging your bets. Now, in terms of safety items, most RVs are going to come with a fire extinguisher. If yours does not, be sure to get one. You need to have one on board. The other thing is you're going to need chocks for your tires. So many people I've seen using those plastic chocks, and I can tell you unequivocally, they're junk. Do not use the plastic chocks. It's around the same price to get these heavy rubber chocks, and you will have much more security and much more protection. You're also going to need leveling blocks. No matter how good the RV park, many of the sites will not be 100% level. And if you don't have an automatic leveling system, or even if you do, you might have to put blocks under your tires or put blocks under your automatic leveling system. And they come in handy for other things too. You can put them under your steps to keep your steps from settling into the ground. Just get some leveling blocks. Additionally, you may want to get a hitch lock. Now, what that does is keeps people from being able to just pull up, hook up your rig, and leave. Very simple. And we use this one. You may want something beefier, and there's something in the store that is beefier. I really haven't felt the need to overly protect myself from being towed away. And it's just a matter of we're staying in RV parks that are secure. And the last thing under safety is a TPMS. You're going to want a tire pressure management system, or TPMS, to keep an eye on the inflation of your tires. Some of them, most of them, will also keep an eye on the temperature of your tires. They are an invaluable asset, and you can just look right at the screen while you're in your truck and see how your tires are performing. Now, just a couple of extras. If you're going to be boondocking, and especially if you're going to be boondocking in an area where the temperature can get up there, like here in Tucson, which, by the way, I'm inside again because it's rainy here in Tucson. If you're going to go boondocking, you're going to need either a generator or a solar setup. Because if that temperature is getting up into the 80s or 90s, you're not going to want to be sitting around without your air conditioner. So you're going to want to make sure that if you're buying a generator, you're buying one that can power your whole RV. The same goes for a solar system. And by no means am I an expert on solar, but many of the solar panel sites have calculators that will allow you to input what you need and kick back the kit that you need. The last little extra is this hitch fork. We only got this 6 months ago, maybe. And I'm here to tell you, it actually does what it's advertised to do. Every single time that I've had to unhook my trailer, I've had to, at some point, get up on the bumper of my truck and do the old bounce. Not with this. When we got here, I unhooked, and it was hung up, obviously, and I got up. I started to get up on the bumper of the truck and went, wait a minute, I have this fork that I just bought. Got that out, put it in there, one press, boom, disconnected. I highly recommend this thing. It will make unhitching a whole lot easier. Now, I promised you a bonus. And that bonus tip, that bonus essential, if you will, is storage totes. Storage totes are going to be the most invaluable storage item that you own. just to keep things organized. In RVs, you just don't have a whole lot of extra storage space. Now, I know a lot of people take their sewer hose and put it in the bumper of their RV. But one, it will not fit any of the fittings that go on the sewer hose. So you have to remove the elbow. And two, I have had on both of the RVs that we've owned, have had an end cap fall off while I was in transit. I don't know about any of you, but I'm really not a big fan of my sewer hose just sliding on out onto the middle of an interstate. So I put my sewer hose in a sealed, waterproof tote, along with all of the fittings, my heavy-duty rubber gloves, my little snake that I bought, anything related to the sewer goes into that tote.
Septic tank for an RV.
I've had to get a second tote with this RV because we have 2 gray tanks and 1 black tank, and I've had to get a lot more sewer line. But up until that point, we were fine with the 1 sewer hose just going in there, all the fittings and all of the extra stuff for our sewer. Storing your tools, storing extra fittings, storing other things that you need for your RV. I cannot say it enough how important storage bins are. And that's all I got for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. If you got anything out of this video, I would love it if you'd hit that like button. It means a lot to me and a lot to the channel. Until next time, I hope we can help you to find less worry and more wonder.